So the big question is this: how do investors like us who don't have a PhD in finance or millions to start investing, how do we grow our bank accounts to build real savings in retirements and yet still have the time to do what we really love? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. Hey guys, this is John. Welcome to the Stock Marketers podcast. This afternoon I had this thought, and I don't know if this is something that a lot of people struggle with or go through, but I know that it's something I've personally gone through at least 4 times with 4 different brokers when setting up a new account. And I think it's something that's important and warrants its own episode, because when I think about this, I realize that a lot of the mistakes I made recently getting into Forex, they came from sort of not necessarily position sizing, but not necessarily understanding the right amount of aggressiveness. I wasn't really honed in on how aggressive I should be with my trades. And I think back at it and I realized, holy crap, I think it's because I didn't internally feel like I deserved the amount of money that I funded my account with. And to give you some preface, 2 months ago, I start, putting, I take some money out of options and stocks and a little bit of crypto, not much of crypto though, the long-term stuff. And so I put it in this Forex account, right? And I remember with TD, a long time ago, first thinking about starting investing, there's always that little box, right, where it shows your account balance or your net liquidation value, whatever you want to call it. It's the amount of money that's in your account. And with Thinkorswim, right, you just click the little arrow next to it, and it just magically, it disappears. And I know for me, especially when I started getting into 0 DTE options day trading, I would always hide my account balances, and I would hide my position contract values, because I would personally be afraid to see them move, and I didn't want that to affect my decision making, because the decision making that you have needs to be almost entirely based off of, at least for active trades, for day trades, for very short-term swing trades. It's usually based, almost entirely on technical analysis and the charts, right? And so when you're trading on the charts, you need to base your decisions on the charts 80 to 95% of the time, more so than how much money you have. Because at the end of the day, if you keep making good trades based on the charts, you're going to have a solid growth in your account. And so I remember starting out with these riskier investments that I was just getting into, that have more upside. I was worried about my account balance, so I'd sort of hide how much money I was making or how much I was up in a position. And what it did was it at least in that circumstance, I remember as one position, and I think I was up 5 or 6 grand, and it was a 12 o'clock to a 2 o'clock trade, and I had hidden the value of it, and I was trading it only on the charts and only on the charts and only on the charts. And for me, this was a pretty decently sized position. It was a pretty aggressive position, but I didn't realize it because I didn't see the number. I didn't see the money that all the money I had made on the trade. It was a lot of, it was I think it was a $1,200, maybe a $1,600 investment. So, in a couple of hours, it did it did really, really, really well. But because I was hiding the dollar value of it, I didn't understand the significance of that gain, and I was focused exclusively on it hidden on the trade was, what was it? I think it was it was Shopify puts, and I was focused so much on the stock going to lower VWAP that I didn't realize, holy crap, I just made a lot of money. I should maybe exit this trade. And part of that was because I was under PDT at the time, and I was my last day trade, so I'd have to exit the entire position. But I really should have realized that. And the reason I didn't is because I was hiding my account balance. So, okay, I've rambled on a little bit about hiding account balances. So why is this so important? So coming back to getting into Forex a lot more recently, excuse me. The broker I'm using, right, they have your account balance and your margin and all these things that you need for trading futures that are really, really important and should be very clearly in front of you, because if they're not, you can make some very big mistakes without knowing it and lose, your account. They have these numbers, these key performance indicators, like right in the front, like they're right across the headline of the page. It's like, this is how much money you have, this is how much margin you've used, this is your unrealized P&L, this is your equity, and stuff like that. And it's like right there. Like, you can't minimize it, you can't get rid of it. It's big, it's literally bigger. It's the biggest text on the entire screen besides the logo of the company. I mean, it's just huge. And I remember when I was first getting into it, I put in like 600, 900 bucks. And at the time, I had been trading currencies for like 2 months when that happened. But I was still like, this is my first time getting into, I was trading cryptocurrencies like on leverage, right? So this is 1000x leverage in Forex. And up to that point, I've been trading 100x leverage on cryptocurrencies. So I knew my shit, but it was in sort of a different market. I wanted to get into actual Forex. And so, because we were starting out this new thing, I was like a little bit afraid of, putting all this money up and it wasn't, I don't know, it was a psychological barrier for me. And so what I did is I took a sticky note and I folded it in half so you couldn't really see through it, because you can kind of see through sticky notes if you put them on a screen. And I stickied the sticky note over top of my account balances, my P&L, my equity, all that. I stuck a sticky note over all of that. And obviously, before I did this, I knew what my position sizing needed to be, and I also knew where my stops had to be to prevent losing more than I invested. But I put a sticky note over all of that because I was like internally afraid to see what was going to happen when I made those investments. And I look back and I remember it was a long time ago. It was a really long time ago. I can't remember if I first did this when I started day trading, but I know for a fact there are times when I first started, years and years and a long, long time ago, where I would definitely hide my account balance from being viewable because I was afraid to see it move, and I would make emotional decisions based on money going up or money going down instead of making the logical decision of where's the chart going to go. And it's a difficult challenge to force yourself to see those numbers and to force yourself to have the account balance open. But what you have to do is you have to internally, psychologically say to yourself, look, you got to convince yourself that you deserve the money that's in your account and you own that money. That money is yours. And obviously it's yours. I mean, unless you're stealing, but that's probably not anybody that's here. But there's a difference between like having money in a bank account or a brokerage account or whatever, and then mentally committing yourself to this is yours. And I think a really good way to do that, obviously, is to, everyone I know, myself included, work for your money, obviously. Not one of those people that just got cash from family. I think it's harder to invest if you're investing with money that you didn't work for, because you don't have that connection to it, which is a really, really integral part of investing that can, like we've talked about earlier in this episode, be a little bit of a downturn when you can't focus on the facts and you're stuck with the emotion of the money. But at the same time, that emotion is, in my opinion, very, very important when you're starting out, because if you don't feel that gut-wrenching pain of like, holy crap, I remember when I was first starting out, and I just left Subway. I remember I had lost, $60 in a day or something, or not, what was it? I mean, how much is a 10-hour shift at minimum wage? I lost $75 in a day. And I was like, oh my God, I just lost like an entire day's pay. And you have to make that hurt when that happens, because that's the only way that you learn from your mistakes. I don't know. At least that's been my experience. I never really had money just fall out of thin air. I'm so sad. I didn't even get a stimulus check. College kids don't get stimulus checks if they're dependent. I couldn't believe that. I got this one buddy. He was working at a car wash before COVID, and he worked there for like a week. He made like 300, 400 bucks. And then he got fired. Everyone got fired because it was a car wash and they couldn't operate anymore. And the dude gets like 800 bucks a week of unemployment every week for like the past couple, like 3 months or something. It's just insane. And yeah, man, dude. If I had known, I would have gotten a job and then just quit and got unemployment. But anyway, back to back to psychology. Really, the big takeaway here is, and I do think this is something I've experienced. I don't know, maybe you haven't had this happen to you, but I would watch for it, because almost every time I've opened a new brokerage account, I have a tendency to hide my balance one way or another, and at the end of the day, you really don't want to do that, and it might sometimes hurt. I know it hurts to see stuff go up and down, and you have to kind of, grow a pair and sit through it, but that's just part of the process, and that's how you get better, and that's how you grow to new stages. And if at any point in your investing career, you're sitting at the same spot for a year or more, and you're never feeling that anxiety, you're never feeling that gut of like, oh, and you're never having that challenge, then are you really growing? Are you really expanding the asset classes you can invest in and the portfolio growth that you can have? And at least for me, that answer has always been no. Like, there's always got to be that next step, and eventually you get to this point where it's like, holy crap. And I think that's kind of where I'm hopefully getting to with 1000x leverage, forex, and hopefully eventually swap derivatives. But you kind of go down this path where at the end, it's like, wow, there's so much along the way. I remember there's a quote. It was really interesting, and I think I'll kind of finish it here. I was watching this fun TV show, and they're training this guy to be like this super cool karate guy. And he thinks he knows, like, everything, but he's like, a 12-year-old or maybe a 20-year-old, I forget. He's getting taught by like this 50-year-old master dude. And what he says is really, really interesting, is, you can't skip a rung in the ladder. You have to go through the whole process to sort of have that end result. And I think it's really important when you're starting through this process that you embrace the psychology of the money in your account. You embrace that it is in your hands to either turn it into a fortune or make mistakes and have to learn from them and go through that pain. And hell, I've hundreds of thousands of dollars down the drain, easy. And that hurts. It does hurt, but you learn lessons from that, and you grow strength from that. If you decide to get up from it, and move on and continue achieving that strength that will last for the rest of your life, which is really cool. So really interesting epiphany. I wasn't expecting this morning or this afternoon or whatever, but definitely something I think is really important. I see a lot of people, they hide those balances. Don't hide your balances. Accept what they are. And if they're not what you want them to be, you have to put the work in to make them where you want to go. So that's it, guys. I am doing some pressure washing this morning so I can take a bunch of cash and then put it into Forex, because some of my positions got liquidated when I was scuba diving. I made some investments and then got on a boat. And when I got off that boat, 6 hours, not 6 hours, but, after some dives, those investments were no longer. So we're coming back from that. I'll keep you guys posted. Thanks so much for listening, and have an awesome day. Bye.
Want more stock market secrets? If so, go get your free copy of my best-selling book, 9 to Noon. You can get your free copy plus $11,176 of unannounced bonuses it took me years to uncover, completely for free at 9tonoonsecrets.com. Inside 9 to Noon, you'll find the top 38 secrets you can use to double your portfolio every 2 years and make upwards of 10% per trade daily.